little topics we gonna touch on. All right, but I'm gonna wait till more people get in here. But if you're watching this as a video when I post it, just skip towards the part where I start talking. But we gonna wait. We gonna wait. We gonna wait. We gonna wait. Actually, we don't have to wait. Like I said, this is getting posted as a video, anyways. So how how I always start off my lectures? Always started off with positive energy. Always. So with that being said, we gonna start off with an affirmation that I always say in every live or video, whatever you want to call it, that I make. So this is what we're gonna say. Um, we're gonna call our power back and we're gonna call our energy back because our energy is powerful and we don't want to be just giving our energy away to anybody. So we're gonna use the affirmation. I call my power back to me from every person, place, or entity, from every space, portal, time, and dimension, from every connection, attachment, and vessel where I left it. I say, right? So the topic I wanted to touch on today, and a lot of people need to hear it, right? I have made a video about it, but a lot of people need to hear it. So the topic is, what is spirituality? Like, what really is spirituality? Because a lot of a lot of people confuse spirituality with religion, or some might think it's demonic, right? But no, spirituality is not demonic. It's not it's not evil or whatever you want to call it, or it's not a religion. So that's what I want to tell y'all, right? So, like I said, we're gonna be touching on different topics and everything, right? So, number one, right? Like I just told y'all, spirituality is not a religion. Spirituality never been a religion. Spirituality been here before religion. You feel me? So, um, spirituality is all about self discovery, right? That's all spirituality is about. It's all about self discovery, and growth, right? And others who don't understand, not understand because we understand, overstand stuff. We don't understand stuff. So spirituality isn't a religion. Spirituality is just a journey of self discovery and growth. Now others who don't understand the truth, it goes beyond the human ability to understand because they simply do not have the capability to comprehend, right? Now, a lot of people these days do not have the ability to comprehend spirituality, right? Because all their life they've been stuck in religion, right? A lot of people been stuck in religion, as far as Christian or any religion you want to say, right? So now let's take it back. So others who don't understand the truth, it goes beyond the human ability to understand because they simply do not have the capability to comprehend it, right? So spirituality isn't all about wearing crystals. Spirituality is not all about wearing crystals, um, not wearing what other people wear, and etc. Right now, like I said, spirituality is not a religion. We You don't have to wear crystals. You don't have to wear what other spiritual people wear. You do not have to meditate. You do not have to eat what other people eat. Spirituality is all about self discovery. Spirituality is all about getting one with God, which is yourself. Right? That's all spirituality is about. It's about self discovery. Right? A lot of people think spirituality is a religion, but it's all about self discovery. So, um, so it's not about what other people wear. Now, spirituality isn't a cult, right? Isn't a cult because, mind you, for us leaders and for us who individuals like me, how they put us out to the internet, they make us seem like we're a cult, or they make us seem like we're pushing a religion or religious things, but we're not doing that, right? Trying to help. We're just trying to help other individuals get back to their natural state, which is their true self, which is getting to know your soul, right? Because a lot of people don't know their soul. A lot of people know the ego. A lot of people is not attached to their soul. They're attached to their ego stuff. Now we're gonna get into that topic too about detachment and ego versus the soul, right? So 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 people put out spirituality, they make it seem like it's a religion or more than a personal journey, right? Because like I said, spirituality is all about self-discovery. A lot of people put spirituality out as if it's a real as it's a religion more than a personal journey, right? So everybody everybody shouldn't be on the same page, right? Because you have a lot of spiritual people that's on the same page. Because everybody here has a mission. Everybody that's on earth has a mission. So every spiritual person shouldn't be on the same page, right? So now everything that I'm telling you right now, go and do your own research on it. You do not have to listen to me. I'm just I'm just here to help you remember, because remember, your soul remembers everything that I'm telling you, right? You just you just forgot, right? So um everybody shouldn't be on the same page. Everybody should interrogate what works for them, right? So whatever works for you when you're on your spiritual journey, you should interrogate what works for you. If if you want to keep eating meat, you can keep eating meat. You do not have to go vegan, right? If you want to keep drinking pop, right, and you don't want to drink a lot of water, but as you should drink a lot of water because it's good for you. But you do not have to do what everybody else what everybody else says. Spirituality is just all about focusing on yourself and self discovery and getting to know who you are, right, as one. So everybody shouldn't be on the same page. Everybody should interrogate what works for them. You shouldn't be able to predict a true spiritual person, right? Because if everybody is on their same page, no. If everybody, a true person, a true spiritual person, you will not be able to predict that person because everybody has their own journey, right? Another person shouldn't know your journey, right? Another person shouldn't know your journey because everybody has their own journey, right? So everybody should interrogate what works for them. You shouldn't be able to predict a true spiritual person, because that person has their own journey. Now, that own journey is separate from you, right? Everybody has their own journey. That journey is separate from you. So you don't need anyone to tell you about spirituality. Just like me, you do not need me to tell you about spirituality. You do not need me to tell you about yourself. You do not need me for that. Like I said, you have all the answers within. Your soul carries all answers. Uh, Anything that you need, your soul holds all them answers within, right? That's why you might fuck around and you might um you might not know the answer to it, but it might just click in your head because your soul knows all them answers, right? So because that person has their own journey separate from you, you do not need anyone to tell you about spirituality. The only one who could teach you the truth is you, right? The only person that can teach you about spirituality or besides spirituality, the only person that can teach you things is you, right? So you had to sit down and duel into your mind because your soul holds all the keys within. Nobody can tell you anything because what is good for you is not necessarily what you need, right? So spirituality is just spirituality is just about trying to comprehend one's relationship with God, right? Now, one's relationship with God. Who is God? God, generator, operator, and destroyer. That generator, operator, and destroyer is you. You are one with God. Everything is connected. Everybody is connected, right? In a way. So now, so spirituality is just about trying to comprehend one's relationship with God, which is you, and trying to figure out one's purpose in life, and trying to achieve God consciousness, right? So that's what you want to achieve. You want to achieve God consciousness and find your purpose in life. Everybody has a purpose in life. right? Everybody has a purpose in life, just like an NPC. If you see, you have NPCs in this world. NPCs meaning a non-player character, right? This is a game that we live in. We're in the Matrix, right? So they have purpose too, just like us. Everybody has a purpose. Like I said, we live in the Matrix, right? You will see a non, you will see an NPC, uh, a NPC person, a non-player character walking up and down the street, right? They have purpose too. So now, stick with me on spirituality. Now we're going to talk about uh the ego and the soul, right? We're going to talk about the ego and the soul. If I can find this. Another thing what y'all should be doing is writing down things. Always write down things. Always. Always write down things. I'm trying to find things. We're going to talk about the ego versus the soul, right? Let me turn this light on so y'all can see better. Cool, 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 cool. If I can find this, I don't know if I can find it. Because I write so much things in this book. Okay. We want to talk about the ego, and then we're going to talk about detachment. Because a lot of you need to detach from the ego. A lot of people need to. A lot of people need to detach from the ego. I don't think it's in this book. I think it's in the other book all the time. It is. Okay, so let's have this one ready too. Now, so the ego is an illusionary false self and construct of thoughts, beliefs, and memories. Now that create a sense of separation from others and then the divine. Now the ego, it acts as the lower self or the thinker, right? Because majority of the things that you do is because of the ego, right? Because your ego, like basically your ego takes over the body or the soul, right? Because because you're more attached to your ego keeps you attached to this world, right? Because like I said before, the soul do not care for nothing. The soul do not care for nothing that you're doing, and the soul do not care for this world. The only thing that's keeping you attached to this world is your ego, right? So the the ego is the illusionary false self, right? Your ego is not your real self, right? Everything that you see outside of yourself is not your real self, right? That is your physical body. You is not your physical body, right? So the soul is the illusionary false self, a construct of thoughts, beliefs, and memories that create a sense of separation from others and the divine, right? Now the ego it acts as the lower self or the thinker, driven by fear, pride, and self importance. Right now, your ego is your false identity, right? While your soul is your solar essence or your higher self. Like I said before, your soul is your true self. That's your higher essence. That's your true self, right? It's your solar essence. So, or your higher self, as the ego is basically the driver of the flesh, right? So you know how when you have a car, right? So if you have a car, you care more the outside of your car more than the inside of your car, right? Because a lot of people leave things in their car like food, clothes, or or just trash, right? Now you want the outside of your car to look nice, right? The outside of your car is your ego, right? Your inside of your car is the passenger, which is you, right? So um, the soul, the soul or the higher conscious, the soul or the higher consciousness is the true self, right? I've been saying it. Your soul is your true self. The soul is the immortal and eternity essence of a person, right? Acting as the bridge between the physical body and the divine. Slurring my words. Let me say that again, right? So the soul or the higher consciousness is the true self. The soul is the soul is the immortal or eternal essence of a person, acting as the bridge between the physical body and the divine spirit, right? It is considered the seat of the consciousness, intellect, emotions, personality, and will, right? Like I said, the ego takes over everything, right? Now, and it makes the body and represents the true inner self. Now, a bridge between realms, right? The bridge between realms is basically your soul and your physical body, right? So the soul acts as the how can I put this? The soul acts as the I don't know how I will put that for uh, people to understand it, but let's go over to detachment, right? So I just talk about the ego versus the soul. Now let's go over to detachment. Now, a lot of people is attached to the physical world, right? Because of your ego and your physical body. Like I said before, your soul do not care for nothing of this, right? Now, um, detachment. Now, detachment may feel like um detachment may feel or look like you might have a, a depersonalization, right? Basically, basically, slurring on my words. Basically, y'all know how when you can go outside or you can stay in the house, things will not feel real, right? So that's basically is uh, so um so you may be feeling detached from your body or yourself, right? Or or the world may feel unreal to you. So detaching from life involves reducing stress by feeling no, detaching from life involves reducing stress by letting go of the needs and to control outcomes, right? Setting firm emotional, physical, and boundaries and focusing on the present moment, right? So you know when you detach when you're in the present moment. Because remember, what is keeping you attached as far as emotions is the past and the future. Now you have to remember, time is not real. There is no past or future, right? Everything is happening. Everything is in the now, right? Everything is now. There's no past. There is no future. Everything is a now. You are a now, right? So if you're if you're in the present moment, then you will feel yourself you will feel yourself detaching, right? Now, if you're stuck in the past and the future, you will feel yourself uh attaching again, right? So, um, so basically, yeah, focusing on the present moment. So to be in the present moment, always release overthinking by letting go of the judgment and accepting the current moment, um, which turns into daily activities into being instead of just doing. So you have to be a being instead of just doing, right? So the law of detachment, you must release your attachment to the outcome. Now it involves trusting. the process of embracing and acting without being basically frustrated, right? So say if say if something is overstimulating, right? Or somebody says something to you, but you don't have a reaction towards it, right? That's a sign of detachment too, because you do not care for what others say or think about you, right? Because that's not hurting your feelings. You're letting go of that type of feeling, right? So um it involves trusting the process of embracing and acting without being frustrated, um and allowing desires to manifest naturally, right? So let me tell you this: letting go doesn't mean giving up, right? It means releasing the grip of inspection and embracing the flow of life, right? So now, um, now attachment to outcomes, people, things can weigh us down, right? Now, and that can call it be causing. Oh, let me turn your lights on real quick. Turn the lights on. Stay with me. Stay with me. Stay with me. Stay with me. Now, back to where I was at. So attachment to like different outcomes, people or things can weigh us down, right? Now it be causing stress and suffering. Now by practicing, right? By practicing um detachment, we learn to love, right? And we learn to live in the present moment. Now, these are some tips for detachment, right? So focus on how you feel, not what you want to achieve, right? Always focus on how you feel and not what you want to achieve, right? Because remember, everything that you desire or everything that you want to achieve is already here. Like I said, there's no path or there is no future. Everything is already here, right? You just have to let you just had to let everything manifest and let everything fall into place, right? Because if you're stressing about it or you always thinking that you're not going to get it, you're going to change your reality. So now you have to change your reality using your mind, because remember, your mind is a powerful tool. I tell y'all this everything. Your mind is a powerful tool. You have to use it. You can manifest with it and you can destroy it with it, right? So um now you always now you always want to attract, right? If you have dreams, you always want to attract. You don't chase. We don't chase our dreams. Chasing means running towards something, right? You can chase something for a long time and you might not get to it. So we don't chase. We attract things that we want. Now, detachment, letting go of old self, right? And old ways and let the new self or new ways in, right? Now, a lot of people don't like letting go, right? You have to let go of things that do not serve a purpose in your life anymore, right? Now, those things, right, or those old habits, right, or those old activities, or anything that you used to do, some of the things that you do not serve a purpose in your life anymore, right? So you had to let in the new and embrace the new, right? So another thing for detachment, accept things as they are, right? Do not try to change things. Do not do not do anything. Accept things for what there are. It don't matter what it is. I don't care if it's an object, a person, family member, relationship. If somebody broke up with you, accept it for what it is and move on. Right? Move on. So now another form of detachment. Allow others to be who they are. Let me say this again. Allow others to be who they are. Who they are. Right? Now, so you have to allow others to be who they are and allow yourself to be who you are. right? Now, another form of detachment. Do not force situations. I don't care what it is. Like I just said, if it's an object, person, thing, do not force situations. Now, um, you have to release control. Um, Another form of detachment, mindfulness meditation. Another form of detachment, letting go. Now, another form of detachment, view problems as opportunities, right? Because a lot of people look at problems as problems. Sometimes you have to look at some problems as opportunities, right? Because that might take you somewhere far in life, right? So now, attachment attachment comes from the ego. Like I said, attachment comes from the ego, right? The soul do not care for it, right? I'm gonna say that again. Attachment comes from the ego. Everything that you are attached to in life is because of the ego. Now, some people fear death, right? Death is not something to be scared of. Death is a beautiful thing, right? Now, you're only scared of death because of the ego, right? And because of this world, because this world is based off fear and emotions. Fear standing for false evidence appearing real, right? You're you're only attached to this world because of the ego. Like I said, the soul do not care for nothing. The soul do not care for nothing that you do at all. If you smoke, if you drink, if you like sex, the soul do not care for that, right? That's just an ego thing. That's just an ego thing. The ego likes shit like that, right? The physical body likes shit like that, right? So, with that being said, you have to, in order for you to, in order for you to achieve things that you want and to become the person that you want to become, start letting go. Another thing, start manifesting. Manifesting is a powerful tool to get your desires. Manifestation is a powerful tool. Or the 369 method, right? The 369 method is writing things that you want, right? Write it when you get up 3 times. Write it write it in the afternoon 6 times. Write it before you go to sleep 9 times, right? And then when you're done writing it 9 times, you say them things before you go to sleep. Now, um, another thing I wanted to touch on, right? So it was this YouTuber. Um, I used to watch a long time ago. His name Noah made SMK, right? So he was saying about like how like um the government is in people's dreams, right? And they doing shit in people's dreams. Now a lot of people do not know this, right? So when you're dreaming, uh you have people after you because remember it's a spiritual warfare, right? If you're not spiritually protected, right, things can happen. But we're gods and goddesses. For us black people, now I don't want to say the word black, but for you to comprehend it, I'm just going to say black people, but we're neuromelanin beings, carbonated beings, right? But you know they they doing little but they doing little fluky shit like they sending agents, right, entities and people dreams and putting you in uh putting you in bases, facilities, anything, or they're even killing people in their dreams, right? Now, in that dream, you might feel fear. You might be sad. You might be scared, right? All that's doing is just feeding off your energy. That's all they're doing. Feeding off your energy, harvesting your energy, right? Because like I said, they fear off uh fear, right? That's what they feed off of. They feed off of fear, right? Just like a so-called demon or shit that you see in your house. Shadow figures, right? They feed off fear. That's what they feed off of. Now, if you do not give them fear, right? And you let them know who the fuck the man is or who the woman is, they gonna get the fuck out of it. They're not gonna fuck with you, right? But yeah, always be protected. Now, I got a protection spell that you can use. Now, like I said, let's bring it back to the spirituality. Spirituality is not evil, right? But they make spirituality as an evil thing, so you won't get back into that stage because they don't want people to know their true self or their true history, right? So I have a a, a protective spell that you can use, right? I'm gonna give you the ingredients to it. So the first thing you need is a white candle, right? And you need salt, right? And you need a small bowl of water. Now, get a pinch of dry rosemary. Now that's optional. You do not have to do that, but it's good if you get a pinch of dry rosemary, right? Now find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed, right? Light the white candle and place it in front of you, right? And sprinkle a. Let me turn the light back on. My bad, y'all. My bad, y'all. All right, back to it. Now, sprinkle a circle of salt around your working area to create a protective boundary. So, meaning, put a whole bunch of salt around you, like a circle, right? So, place the bowl of water in front of the candle. Now, if you are using rosemary, right, sprinkle a pinch into the water, right? Now, focus on the candle flame and take a few deep breaths to center yourself, right? Now, this is what you want to say when you're doing the protection spell. So, say this: by the light of this flame, I am protected. By the power of salt and water, I am shielded. No harm shall come to me. No, I will not pass. Um, I am safe. I am strong. I am guarded at last. Now, when you're doing this, visualize a bright, protective light surrounding you. Right now, um, visualize a bright, protective light surrounding you, forming a barrier that keeps negative energy away. Now, when you're ready, like snuff snuff out the candle. Don't blow it out. Like you know how you blow, but use your nose. Do this. Like you like you're trying to blow your nose out. Do that. Do not blow the candle out. Just use that way to blow the candle out, right? Now, um, and when you're done, and when you do that at the end, say so it is done, right? Now that's a protection spell that you can use for protection. Now, and you can say I say at the end of it too, right? The power to make things happen, right? Now that's what I wanted to touch on, right? In this live. So we gonna end this live off with no. I'm gonna start making my lives longer as you know what I'm saying, as we keep building as a community, right? So we gonna end this live off with positive energy, right? So we gonna use this affirmation. I'm gonna say it slow, just in case y'all want to say it with me. I got you. So I'm gonna say this slow so I can stay with you, right? I call my power back to me from every person, place, or entity, from every space, portal, time, and dimension, from every connection, attachment, and vessel where I left it. I say, right? Now, I might be doing another live probably tomorrow. I might make it even longer, right? And I might have, you know what I'm saying? I might have a little few guests pop in, you know? I might have a little few guests pop in, but I'm gonna stay on here for a little bit longer. Now, if y'all have any questions, ask me questions, right? Y'all, I'm gonna give y'all 5 questions max, right? Y'all, even after I post this, y'all can put them in the comments, right? Any question y'all want to ask, but I'm answering 5 questions. Go ahead and answer y'all ask y'all questions. No, somebody. Oh, there we go, right there. Woman is source. Woman is source. I didn't even know I could start doing Q&As. But yeah, I'm out in this live. Make sure y'all tap in on my TikTok. I am chosen Chapo. That's where I post my videos at. Now, uh if you didn't watch some of this video, I'm gonna post some of these clips on TikTok too. So make sure you go follow the TikTok. I am chosen Chapo. Right.